Is AI really destroying the way that we communicate? I have been browsing LinkedIn a lot. For those of you that don't know, if you go to LinkedIn and you see your feed and you get this For You post or recommended post, you will usually find people who are hiring people who always have a viral post saying, I knew this guy was the right candidate and I did not make him jump through a bunch of hoops and I just hired him right away. So tip for everyone on HR, just like go with your gut. If you got a guy who can do all the work that you need him to do, just hire him. Why maintain this bureaucracy? This is all just BS. Respect the worker. And then you have the CEOs that are posting online and saying stuff like, I wish I knew this before I lost $10 million. Just hire people that you know with evidence that they're gonna do exactly what you need them to do so your startup doesn't fail. So if you need them to pass 50 tests just to prove that they actually know how to do what you are requiring them to do, it doesn't matter. Their time doesn't matter. The other 100 candidates don't matter. Pay them as little as possible and so you won't lose money. And then there's the viral post of the guy looking for a job that always says like, I have sent 246 applications and I only got 2 interviews. This is what I wish I knew. And you also get the successful candidate who goes, oh, I interviewed at Google, Meta, Amazon, and this is how you'll get a job. These posts are not only AI generated, but they are also copied and pasted. They're just like getting exponentially bad, and everyone knows that these posts are just engagement farming. The guy who said that, oh, I've been looking for a job for like 2 years and I only landed 1 interview and I didn't get it, he's not getting a job from this post. So what are we doing with AI? Why are people complaining about all of this? And in my opinion, it's everyone's fault. So the company's at fault, the people at HR are at fault, and the people looking for a job, we are at fault when we are doing that. And that's just stuff that happens. Why? Well, let me tell you something. People are complaining online a lot about how you can apply to a huge amount of jobs and then not only not hear back, but I've seen screenshots and videos of people being rejected like 4 to 15 seconds after they submitted the resume on the website or whatever. So obviously this means that the company or the people that are in charge of the recruitment process are using some type of automation that reads through your resume like an ATS system, but they're now incorporating AI so they can reject you right away. Sometimes they reject you right away, but they just schedule that email to be sent out in like the next 2 weeks. But how did it come to that and what did we do about it? We used AI to counter that. So companies were getting a lot of applications. So they're always trying to optimize the way they do their hiring or their processes in general. So they get this automation thing, software or whatever that's going to do that for them. And what we did was like, well, then if no one's going to read it, like I'm not going to put a lot of time in writing it either. So we use AI to craft this ATS safe resumes to be sent out. Then we get rejected in like 10 seconds because it's like super advanced. And so we get ourselves a platform that will apply automatically to like 1,000 jobs, 500 jobs a day. It will just ship them out to every job seeking site. So I guess, yeah, we're fighting fire with fire, but what is actually going on? Then another thing is that people who are looking for a job complain that like, I didn't even get an email saying like, oh, this is why you were not hired. Okay, you're not getting that email, but what happens when you actually do get that email? That email is obviously an AI generated template that they send out to everyone. And what do you do when you send out your cover letter that is AI generated, or when you're crafting the email that includes your cover letter, even if you wrote it yourself, you're sending out an email and then you're clicking on the AI assistant that you have at your Gmail or using ChatGPT or Apple Intelligence to craft that email. So there is no point in doing anything that we're doing. We're just pretending. Have you ever watched that South Park video about ChatGPT where Stan sends this text to the girl he likes, and the girl is just falling in love with him because of what he's saying to her, but actually it's just ChatGPT sending those texts. And there comes a point where she doesn't know what to say back, and then she finds out about ChatGPT, and then she starts sending this messages that are AI generated to Stan, but Stan it's not reading them. He's just using ChatGPT to reply to those messages. So there comes a point where this communication is only happening between two AIs, and then when they finally meet each other, they don't actually know what to do, nor do they even know what they said to each other in the past, because they were not the humans having those conversations. And that is the point that we're in right now. So we cannot complain if we're having an AI tool craft a resume, then we put that on an AI assistant to have that send out to every platform that we can. And then the company that's hiring uses an AI tool to reject you, saying like, hey, we were really impressed with your skills, but we decided to move forward with a different candidate. You know the drill. You know what that is. So there is not really a lot of communication going on, at least not real communication. Have you seen these videos online where people are just having like a face-to-face interview over Zoom, and they have an AI assistant that gives them the answers to the questions of the interview in real time? And then if the person suspects that that is what's going on, they'll say, hey, share your screen with me, and they'll do it. But then the counter is that the person interviewing for that position has an extra computer or a mobile phone where he's doing that. So there's no point in using the screen sharing to reveal that he is or he is not using AI to answer these questions. So even if the other person knows for sure, like, he cannot prove it. And also, it happens both ways. If you apply to a certain type of job, you will get an AI assistant on your Zoom call or in a Google Meet, and the AI assistants will be there, and they'll be partnered with the company that's doing the hiring, and they will be taking notes, recording your interview, and making a summary of what you said, making sure that your answers align with what they're looking for at the company that's hiring. And they do that, and they'll even send you that summary and let you know that it was all AI. Then why is this person doing an interview? And then you have the interviews with AI where you don't actually get a recruiter, but you're actually being interviewed by an AI. Because if you have an AI assistant that can actually take notes and record the interview and follow up with this process, and then can send you emails and all of that, why not have the AI do the interview itself? And there are processes in which companies are using AI from the beginning of the process till the end, including the interview itself. I mean, you will never ever talk to a human. Even if you get a message, an email, or something like that where you see the little picture of a person, it's probably and more than likely AI generated. So what is the point? What is the point of doing this? What are we doing? And this is getting worse every 6 months. Every 6 months, some new AI technology is being deployed that is, of course, designed to optimize and help whichever party. And it's making everything worse. It's going to come to a point where if you actually want to know if the person is qualified and you want to get a sense of what they can do, you are not going to make them go through a test or have an AI analyze if what they're saying is true or not. It's going to come to a point where they're going to ask you to go to an office and meet with an actual person and have that interview there. And it's just going to go back full circle, and we're going to have in-person interviews again, because this just sucks. And neither side can take responsibility that they are actually not using that tool to help, but they are abusing that tool, and it's actually making everything worse. And everything is just because we cannot resist the temptation of a little help. But if we get a little bit of help at every stage of what we do, and everyone does the same, and everything gets a little bit more optimized every couple of weeks, then we end up with nothing. The same millennials that made fun of baby boomers for not being able to recognize AI because it was so obvious and so apparent to them are being fooled by AI. But it's now so much better that they cannot recognize it themselves. If I, person A, cannot recognize if I'm talking to an AI or not, and you cannot do it either because the AI is so good at this point, then our communication is dead. We're going to experience what happened in that South Park episode, 100% in real life, but with real people, with real money, with real world consequences. Still, I don't think AI is killing the way that we communicate. I think that we got too comfortable and we are going to stop communicating because we don't see it as convenient. And that is even worse.